Released by Russia's defense ministry. As many as 1,000 civilians believed still holed up inside, along with Ukrainian fighters.
ABC's Justin Finch, New York Archbishop Timothy Dolan making an unannounced visit to Ukraine, and Poland telling ABC News this morning.
We want to just let them know they're not alone, that the world hasn't forgotten them. We love them. We're praying with and for them. We want to help them.
A new ABC News Washington Post poll shows 2/3 of Americans worry that U.S. sanctions against Russia will cause even higher food and energy prices. The price of diesel right now at a record high.
And considering many big rigs only get about 6 miles to the gallon, some drivers are now paying more than $1 per mile on the highway.
I'm losing money, and to be honest, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Meanwhile, oil companies are reporting rising profits. Chevron posting a $6.3 billion profit last week, nearly 4 times what the company reported this time last year.
ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi. Pediatric health experts continue trying to solve the mystery of why so many children are developing hepatitis. There's no connection to the COVID vaccine. In fact, most of the kids who've gotten sick are very young and not yet vaccinated. At last night's Country Music Hall of Fame Awards, an emotional tribute to Naomi Judd by her daughters. This is Ashley Judd.
My mama loved you so much, and she appreciated your love for her. And I'm sorry that she couldn't hang on until today. Your esteem for her and your regard for her really penetrated her heart.
Naomi Judd was 76. The National Weather Service confirming that tornado damage in Kansas over the weekend stretched for nearly 13 miles. This is ABC News.
Ew, Dad, why are toenails so ugly and yellow?
Hey, it's James, and if you're like me and suffer from toenail fungus, please pay close attention. Let's face it, toe fungus is embarrassing. I was afraid to take my socks off and hid my yellow and crumbly toes from everybody. But nail fungus isn't just a cosmetic problem. It can also be dangerous. Even a small spot can spread and get worse. But no matter what I tried, it seemed like my fungus would never go away. Then I discovered Crystal Flush, the new FDA-registered at-home treatment. This unique 2-step system flushes out fungus at its source and reverses damaged nails. Finally, me and thousands of others are free from fungus. And you can be too. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-764-9219. That's 800-764-9219. Eliminate your toe fungus once and for all, guaranteed. Call now, 800-764-9219, or visit crystalflush.com.
European Union this morning now accusing Apple of abusing its dominant position in the tech world, and the way it runs its digital wallet, Apple Pay, could lead to fines against Apple, and the EU may force it to up Apple Pay to competitors as well. Some scary moments for a family trying to have a good time on vacation. ABC's Derek Dennis explains.
A family believes someone used an electronic device to track them at Disney World. They say after a full day at the Magic Kingdom, 17-year-old Madison Gaston received a notification that an Apple AirTag device was moving with her.
I had seen videos of other people warning people about them.
Apple's AirTag is meant to be attached to things frequently lost, like your keys or wallet. But authorities say some criminals have used the devices to follow people, even attaching them to cars to steal later.
Apple has updated iPhones to send users alerts about unknown AirTags. There's also an app for Android phones called Tracker Detect that does the same thing. Actress Amber Heard expected to take the stand today for the first time in the trial over the $50 million defamation lawsuit brought against her by ex Johnny Depp. And there's another union vote at an Amazon facility in New York. Workers at a Staten Island warehouse voting on whether to unionize just weeks after employees at another Amazon location nearby said yes to a union. The results of the second vote are expected later today. This is ABC News.
If you work remote, Staples has you covered.
A mid-mod desk chair to rejuvenate my ho-hum workspace.
Staples has you covered.
A place to put my papers so I can be more productive.
A storage cabinet that I can roll out of the way on weekends.
Staples has you covered with remote workspace solutions. And now get 25% off storage and filing products, chair mats, decor, and lighting with the purchase of an office chair or desk. Explore solutions for your remote workspace at Staples, the working and learning store. Ends 5/28 in store only.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It's the time of year to come to NC Tractor for the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. NC Tractor gives fantastic customer service, the best discounts possible, and it's a locally owned business. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue is helping to make outdoor work more enjoyable. Should you have something that you can be proud of for a long time? Massey Ferguson and Bobcat zero-turn mowers. Come look them over. 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. That phone number is 288-0395.
We're tracking mostly dry conditions for this afternoon. It's going to be the driest day of the work week. Once we head into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we are likely to see small rain chances move in. So enjoy this afternoon with highs in the mid to upper 80s. A mix of sun and clouds possible. Tonight, we're down into the low to mid 60s. Highs will reach the mid 80s and the lower 90s for tomorrow, with a chance for showers and perhaps a few thunderstorms. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
It's another great getting up morning here in the foothill. A little cloudy right now, but where temperature reading is 58 degrees, warming up to about 83 for a daytime high today, which is pretty summer-like. 7:06 on this Monday morning as we get our day started together. Thank you for joining us for the morning wake-up call. Now, I have these death announcements this morning. Wayne McKinney, age 77 of Forest City, died Thursday, April 28th at hospice of the Carolina foothills. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at Chase Baptist Church. Burial will follow at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service is serving the family of Wayne McKinney of Forest City. Dorothy Buchanan, age 94, died Saturday, April 30th at Hospice House of the Carolina foothills. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by McMahon's Funeral Home and Cremation Services for Dorothy Buchanan. Joseph Daniel Splon, age 79, died Friday, April 29th at Willow Ridge Nursing Center in Rutherford. Funeral arrangements are pending and will be announced by the Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory for Joseph Daniel Splon. Carolyn Payne Pruitt, age 83 of Forest City, died Friday, April 29th at Hospice of the Carolina foothills. The funeral service will be held 3 o'clock Tuesday, May 3rd at Calvary Baptist Church. Burial will follow at Tanner's Grove United Methodist Church Cemetery. The family will receive friends from 2 until 3 o'clock Tuesday at Calvary Baptist Church. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of those arrangements for Carolyn Payne Pruitt. Henry Jr. Taylor, age 82 of Forest City, passed away April 29th at his home. The family will receive friends today from 10 until 11 o'clock at Crow's Mortuary. A service will follow in the chapel at 11 o'clock, and burial will be private. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Henry Jr. Taylor. Glenn Davis, age 68 of Mooresboro, formerly of Forest City, died April 26 at Hospice of Forest City. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Pruitt Funeral Home for Glenn Davis. Joyce Young Bruce, 79 of Forest City, died Thursday, April 28th at Pro Medical Skilled Nursing and Rehabilitation in Greenville, South Carolina. No formal services are planned for Joyce Young Bruce, and Paget and King Mortuaries assisting the family. Dolores Krotz, age 69 of Forest City, passed away Wednesday at her residence. The funeral service will be held 3 o'clock on Saturday, May 7th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Dolores Krotz of Forest City. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become available to us, tune in this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report, complete listing of the obituaries and full details of those that we have in-house. It's almost 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. It's almost in time for the Bill O'Reilly morning update. We'll have that coming up here in just a few moments. Let me remind you that come Friday, we're going to be a big day over at Jay's Discount Grocery. It's been a while since we've been able to do this. We're happy to be out and about, and Jay's Discount Grocery is having Customer Appreciation Day on Friday, and we'll be there broadcasting starting at 10 o'clock till 12, and then we'll come back at 3 o'clock and do another round. So join us for that. If you free hot dogs, a lot of great gifts awaiting you.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, if you are stuck in a timeshare, please call my friends at Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee to get you out with a specified time frame given to you in writing. They have helped thousands of unhappy timeshare owners over the past decade. Family owned, their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. So please call for a no-obligation consultation. 855-551-7066 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com. On this Monday, it is still very cool here in the Northeast, and it's May. So let's talk about climate change. It's happening. But the question is, how do responsible people deal with it? A few years ago, I went up to Glacier Bay in Alaska and talked with researchers there who are watching the mammoth ice shrink. The data is solid, unlike some parts of the glacier. And then there's my Long Island life experience. As a kid in the 1960s, I played ice hockey on a frozen pond from late December to late February. That pond remains, but today it rarely freezes over. So I do believe in global warming, and I also believe the cleaner America is, the better. However, and it is a big one, China and Russia and India will continue to pollute the planet to a horrifying degree. So it's irresponsible for the USA to hurt its own economy in pursuit of a magical solution to warming, which is not even possible. Another, however, we should develop clean energy and technology, and when it is viable and affordable, then we can change the laws to impose the clean technology. Is that sane? Fair to we the people? I believe so. But the crazy warming zealots want to destroy the economy now. Now this. Did you know that cars today have more tech than the first spaceship? Something's guaranteed to break. That's why you need CarShield. When you need a repair, you can choose the mechanic, and CarShield gets the rest taken care of. Plans through CarShield even provide rental car options, roadside assistance, trip reimbursement, all at no extra cost. So get covered today and save 10%. Please go to carshield.com/bill or call 800-391-8888. A deductible may apply. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Live from beautiful downtown Whiteside Road in the Blue Room of WCAB, your connection to the world of entertainment and information is on the air. WCAB, what a way to spend a day.
Good morning. Good morning.
One can say that Sam Bass did try the honest life. He was a cowboy and a teamster. He traded and raced horses, and he even operated a bordello. But his money went out faster than it came in. So in 1877, Sam Bass pulled together a gang, and for a short period of time, robbed so many stagecoaches and trains that virtually every lawman in the area was after him. The Bass gang had a hideout close to the Murphy Ranch. One of the sons, James Murphy, was a friend of Bass, and an even closer friend of Frank Jackson, Bass's second in command. United States Marshals started arresting anyone who had anything to do with the Bass gang. In the roundup on May 1, 1878, James Murphy and his father were picked up. James Murphy agreed to infiltrate the Bass gang and inform the law of their whereabouts in exchange for a pardon. Murphy joined the gang and was able to get word out that the Bass gang was going to rob the bank at Round Rock, Texas. On that fatal day, Murphy held back to keep from getting shot. In the shootout, Sam Bass, a gang member, and a deputy sheriff were killed. James Murphy and his father got their pardon. Although James was responsible for the end of the Bass gang, he became an outcast because Sam Bass, like so many other Old West outlaws, became a folk hero. A year after his initial arrest, James Murphy acquired some medicine for an eye problem and mysteriously drank it, taking his own life. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Congratulations to Jesse James Railroad Express, voted 2021 Best of Rutherford County hot dogs and hamburgers 5 years in a row.
Now let's get caught up to date on what's been happening over the weekend. We stop at the Sheriff's Department this morning to get a report from Sergeant Brendel at the Sheriff's Department. Good morning, Sergeant Brendel. How are you doing today? You doing all right today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing great, thanks. Tell us what's been going on over the weekend.
Let's see here. Get my numbers pulled up. Past 48 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has answered 250 calls, processed 28 arrests, and currently have 181 in the county jail. Under our incident reports, we have one Green Hill store reported a case of misdemeanor larceny. Looks like a Alexandria Kennedy, 30-year-old white female of Rutherford, was charged and arrested for the misdemeanor larceny. She stole a $34 pair of shoes from the store. Under our arrest reports, we have a Julius Hamilton, 43-year-old black male of Ellenboro, was charged with 1 count of failure to appear on a misdemeanor, given a $500 unsecured bond. We have a Jason Eugene Lauder, 39-year-old white male of Forest City, was charged with 3 counts of child support, given a $3,500 bond. We have Travis Wishon, 20-year-old white male of Rutherford, charged with 2 counts of failure to appear on a felony, given a $5,000 secured bond. We have a Joshua Kane Tony, 38-year-old white male of Henrietta, was charged with 1 count of possession of methamphetamine, 1 count of trafficking heroin, and 1 count of possession of a controlled substance inside of a jail, given a $60,000 secure bond. We have a Kevin Smith, 43-year-old white male of Forest City, was charged with 1 count of failure to appear on a misdemeanor and given a $1,000 secure bond. And that's all we have this morning, sir.
Sergeant Brendel, I do appreciate that. You have a wonderful day and be safe out there.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Hey, folks, you know, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse-quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherford.
Here's Amber now with a report from the Communications Center. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Hope you're doing well.
I am.
Good. What's on the report?
In the past 48 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 755 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 60 calls for EMS. For law enforcement, there were 250 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 117 for Forest City, 18 for Lake Lure, 43 for Rutherfordton, and 57 for Spindale. And for fire calls, Cliffside responded to a fire alarm, Ellenboro responded to a motor vehicle accident, Forest City responded to 2 motor vehicle accidents, and SDO responded to a motor vehicle accident. And that's all we have.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
And we'll check with SDO Fire District report in just a moment.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now here's Ruby Taylor with that SDO report. Good morning, Ruby. How's your weekend?
I'm okay.
Good.
Fire department had one call, and that was to a vehicle accident. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Marie Carroll, Jamie White, Brenda Kelly, and Brendan Riggs having birthdays today. Hope they all have a nice day, and the signs are in the arms today and tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks so much. You have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, they got off to a start last week, early voting, that is. Started on Thursday. Friday and Saturday is sort of a slow start, but this is a first full week of early voting, starting to the 2 locations that you can go vote. One time only. 2 locations will be open. That's Isothermal Community College Business Science Building in the Blue Room there on the campus of Isothermal. The other place is the County Annex Building. Everybody's familiar with that one. Now, the Isothermal Community College Business Science Building may not be as familiar to you unless you've been a student there, but it's easy to find. So either one of those 2 places you can go vote early. One time only, no voting twice, but we'll see how this week goes. A little slow getting started, but we got some time yet, so don't miss out on voting in this primary election. And we're going up to Fairfield Mountains next and get a report from Gary Wilson. See what's been happening up in the mountains this weekend. Gary, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
I am well. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, pretty good weekend, sure did.
Good.
Pretty quiet. Not a whole lot happened over the weekend. I think we had one call over the weekend for the fire department. Rose Creek ran a couple, and everything else was pretty peaceful. Looks like summertime's going to get here this week.
Boy, yeah, sounds like it, doesn't it?
Looks like it's going to be in the upper 60s for a couple of days and 80s most of the week, so I'll take it to that time of the year. May's already here.
Yes.
But we could use some rain. Had a little bit of rain yesterday, just not enough to do much good, though. It was just a little thunder and lightning in the distance, and a little bit of wind and a little rain, but they will stir up some more showers this week, dry things out a little better.
Yeah, we didn't get any of that rain yesterday, so I must have been stayed up on your end.
Yeah, we had a little bit up here coming out of Marion. I think they had a severe thunderstorm warning for over in the Marion area, but
yeah,
you never got anything from that. I think we just got the edge of that. A little bit of sprinkle come through and it didn't last very long, though.
Yeah, well, that's good.
But other than that, we're sitting on about 55 degrees this morning, 56 right now, and everything's ready to go for the day, and hope everybody has a good week. And you do too, Jim.
Thanks, Gary. You too. Be careful up there, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, talk to you.
All right, bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
And Bostic is our next stop, Bostic Fire District. Then we'll talk with DeBurn and see if anything happened over there with the fire district last weekend or this past few days. Good morning, DeBurn. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am too, yeah. Glad to be.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did. Had a pretty good weekend, yeah. How about you?
I had a great weekend.
Did you party a lot?
I partied a lot. Getting ready for next weekend party for Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah. Is that next week? Wow.
Yeah, Sunday.
My goodness.
Time's passing,
Boy,
isn't
it is passing in a hurry. Sure is.
Okay, over here in Boston this morning we have 60 degrees. Supposed to be a beautiful day. Fire department had one medical call. They'll have their meeting tonight at 6 p.m. Come out and check the fire department out, and if you're interested in joining, there will be a yard sale May the 7th. That's Saturday, 1105 Beans Mill Road, 8 until. Lots of toys and items. Chad's outgrown all of his toys, so he's selling them. Mother's Day Sunday, go by Boston Florist and get your flower arrangement for your mom, or stop in at Washburn Store and check out their items. You might find Mom a gift there. And hope everyone enjoys their day.
Thanks, DeVern. You enjoy your day as well, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
26 after 7 o'clock. Mr. Bob Hodge is on the phone with you now to give us the news from the Hudlow Fire District. Good morning, Bob. How are you doing?
We are doing just fine on this Monday morning up here.
Another weekend behind us, another brand new full week.
That's right. Starting a new week here, and that sun's a shining bright this morning, and look like we're going to have a good, pretty day up here today. And we missed them little old showers over the weekend here. Looked like we had some all around, but we didn't get any up our way, any over the weekend.
We didn't either. We didn't get our showers either, so it must have hovered up around the McDowell County line in Fairfield Mountains area.
Yeah, looked like yesterday evening it was dark up towards Morganton and back up towards Marion there, so looked like they got some rain back up that way. And yeah, with the fire department over the weekend, it's quiet. We had one called a tree down the road, and that's all the fire department had over the weekend, so that was good. I want to say happy birthday to Miss Brenda Kelly up there this morning, and looked like it's going to be warm enough she can kick her shoes off and go wading in Frog Creek up there today. There,
that'd be good for her, wouldn't it?
That'd be good for her there.
Look for some tadpoles.
As long as them tadpoles don't bite her toes, she'll be all right there. But Jim, that's about it. So you have a good day now.
Thanks, Bob. I hope you do too, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Now, Cherry Mountain is where we're stopping next. Sue Price, how you doing?
Good morning, Jim. I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, ma'am. Did you have a good weekend?
Good. We did. We had a real good weekend. We celebrated Ron's birthday yesterday with a family dinner and enjoyed that.
Good.
And let's see. I have no birthdays on my church calendar. And on my personal calendar, I got Brenda Kelly, so happy birthday to Brenda. We hope she'll have a good day. And Fairview's got Barbara Thomas and Jordan Brandel. And nothing on First Broads for today, so not too many celebrating. No, we have anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary. We'll have a real good day on their special day. And I didn't have any calls from the fire department, so they were quiet over the weekend, and that's good. And don't have any announcements yet, so everything's just quiet and calm over here, and we're looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. Hope you have a good one as well, and I will see you back here tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Let me introduce you to Brock Family Care, a direct primary care practice that takes care of the patients and not the insurance company. Providing flat rate pricing and not accepting any forms of health insurance allows for more personalized and affordable health care. Ann Brock has over 42 years of health care experience and 22 years as a nurse practitioner. She and her staff are dedicated to providing health care that is patient-centered and not insurance company dictated. They give the patient the time and the attention they need. What are your medical needs? Bring them to Brock Family Care and see the difference. Ann also offers telehealth appointments. The professional staff are dedicated and will take the time to find out how they can help you. To learn more about this wonderful medical service, go to the website at www.brockfamilycare.com. That's Brock Family Care, 289 Shallow Road, Forest City. Well, with Mother's Day coming up real soon, do something different. Get Mom a gift unlike anything she's ever had. Go to Washburn Store and do some shopping for her. You'll find a great amount of gifts that will please Mom real well. You can even get a gift basket set up for her and let them help you there to find some things that would be very suitable for Mom personally, as well as for the kitchen, maybe for the den or the bedroom where she likes to relax. Find some things out of Washburn Store that'll make a great, great Mother's Day gift box. Go see them, talk to them about it. Just ask some questions when you get in there and say, I want to get my mom a Mother's Day gift. Can you help me find something? And they will do that for sure. Washburn Store, so versatile, so friendly, and so helpful. You'll always be glad you went to Washburn Store for your next gift. Between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Tina Watts off the grid this morning, out of pocket for a few days. But we're going up to Union Mills to talk with Brenda Kelly in just a moment.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
All right, let's go talk with the birthday girl this morning. Brenda Kelly, happy birthday.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. How are you today?
I'm happy to celebrate your birthday.
Well, that's good. It's good to have a birthday, isn't it?
Oh, you're mighty right about that. Everyone I can have, I'm happy to get.
That's exactly right. Me too. And I appreciate everybody wishing me a happy birthday. I've celebrated all weekend. My daughter, she has to work today, so she said, Mama, we're going to celebrate your birthday Saturday. And we went up here to this thing at the Union Mill School.
Yeah.
Where they had all them vendors. And I really enjoyed that. And I got to see a lady. She's from Cleveland County. I think I had not seen since her mother was at the home way before I retired. And I hadn't seen her in all them years. And it was so good to see her.
Well, that's good to get out, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's really nice up there. They got it fixed up real nice now. They got playground equipment for the children. So I asked if we could come and have a picnic. She said, sure, anybody, come have a picnic. And they got a little covered area where you can do stuff, and it's really nice. So I was glad that I went and found out what was going on.
Union Mills Learning Center.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, it's in behind the school down on, excuse me, they call it the walking trail. I call it the old ball field.
Yeah.
But it's nice, and they've cut the trees out to where it can be seen from the road, and you can see the road and everything. So it's really nice.
That's where they have the musical programs inside the gym there, I guess.
Yeah, they have them inside the gym. That's right. So, Union Mills is growing.
Oh, it's a hot place to go.
I'm telling you, I said it'd be nice, to take the grandchildren or your little children and let them play out there, and you can take your little dog and let it play and have a picnic.
Wonder when they're going to build their first hotel.
Well, I don't know, but it'll probably be a few years down the road. We might have a bed and breakfast. Well, we did. No, it was an Airbnb.
Well, I'm glad they didn't let Union Mills die. I'm glad they came alive and did some things and having live programs up there and festivals.
They have a lot of good music up here. They really do. Well, let's see. I've got 54 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries today except for me, so that's the only one. And in ways of announcements, Camp Creek Baptist Church Homecoming, May the 15th. This is their 200-year celebration. Meal to Paula worship service. Bring a well-filled picnic basket and everyone welcome. And this is the first time that they've had a meal in their fellowship hall since COVID struck, so they're excited about that.
Sure. Yeah.
And then Friday, May the 6th, Union Mills Learning Center, 6 p.m., barbecue meal. The cost is $6. 7 p.m., the band, 33 1/3. There's no cost for the music, but they do have tip jar available for the band. And so far, that's all I know of going on up here. So.
Well, that's good. The weather's going to be nice today.
But it's supposed to be raining the rest of the day. We got a little shower yesterday, not much, just enough, what I'd say, to settle the dust. Yeah. But it was real dark back in Cleveland County. I'm not Cleveland County, McDowell County. I went out and I said, my goodness, there was a black cloud hanging over there, and I'm not far from McDowell County.
Yeah.
Or Burke County, either one, as far as that goes, yeah. I'm closer to McDowell because you can walk out my back door and go up across the mountain there, and I'd say less than a mile is McDowell County.
You could just about yell from your house, and they'll hear you over there in McDowell, won't they?
It probably would because I'm loud.
Well, I helped celebrate Ella Hamilton's birthday on Saturday. She's a sweet lady. A lot of people know Ella. And she had a birthday party and invited Faye and me to come over, and we had a good time. It was nice. Yeah, it was a good day for it.
And I was sorry to hear about Naomi Judd's passing.
Wasn't that sad?
Yeah, it was. And they just was inducted into Country Music Hall of Fame, wasn't they?
They were going to be the next day, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know yet how she died. They just said she suffered from mental illness.
She apparently committed suicide.
Oh, bless her heart.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, I know that's a tragic loss for the family. And
it is. It's yeah.
She suffered through those kind of issues for many years, and was for about 2 years there. She was nobody ever saw her. Then she bounced back, and she got back out on the circuit again with her daughter, and they sang a lot and performed a lot. And then I guess this just more she could overcome. I don't know what happened exactly that caused her to and I don't know how she committed suicide, but that's the prognosis, is that she was so depressed that she committed suicide.
Well, depression is a terrible thing. I know years ago I was young and I had a bout of depression, and I had to go see I don't know if it was a psychiatrist, psychologist, or I don't know what it was, but he didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So he said, well, what do you do when you hit rock bottom? I said, well, there ain't nothing to do but pull yourself up. And I thought, that was a dumb question to ask. I remember that just like it was yesterday.
Well, you had the right idea. Pull yourself up.
That's right. You ain't got one way to go, and that's up. So, but some people don't. They just don't recover from it.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's sad, and my heart goes out to the family because it don't matter who it is, if they're rich or poor or what. When death hits, it's sad, and especially if it could have been avoided.
Yes. Yeah. And it's coming to all of us. Death's coming to all of us at some point in our lives.
That's exactly right. That's right. Be ready. You better be ready.
That's exactly right. Words of wisdom.
I'll read a Bible verse and you can sing.
Well, I might try to do that.
Okay.
I've sung a couple of verses in my life.
I guarantee you have. I guess you better go down to Ellenborough and check on Luke the Sweet Thing and see if everything's all right down there. I think they got a big yard sale coming up pretty quick.
I believe so. Was it this weekend or is it coming up? I don't. He'll have to update us on that.
That's exactly right.
You have a wonderful day.
Okay, catch you later.
All right, bye. Brenda Kelly celebrating a birthday today at 7:39.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Is this the party to whom I'm speaking?
No, he had to go out. He went to the gas station.
He leave you in charge?
Yeah, boy, that was a mistake.
Boy, what kind of guy is he, right?
He's a adventurous guy. See what happens.
Well, you doing okay?
It's a good time. Do what?
Are you doing okay?
I'm doing great. Having a good time.
Good.
I got my boots on. Hey, it's a good day.
That's right.
But it's quiet out here this morning. We had Friday quiet weekend. Had one medical call. And had one accident last night. Out on the bypass. Then we had to set up a landing zone to fly a patient out. And what was in the accident. And other than that, things been quiet. Now, what's going on? Hey, we're going to have something going on here Saturday. Big town-wide yard sale. Starting at 7 o'clock Saturday and running until people quit buying. And nothing else going on down here, so you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. I'll see you then.
All right, take care.
All right, bye. And you can celebrate birthdays today for this second day of May. May 2nd, birthdays can be called in to us now at 287-3356. 287-3356, and we'll give you a big shout out on your birthday or anniversary. 287-3356. Birthdays coming up.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
While you're calling your birthdays in, I want to tell you about Granny B's. Boy, they got great food. I hear people bragging about it all the time, and I have lunch out there a lot. I don't get out there for breakfast because I'm here, but you can do that. I've heard great comments about their breakfast as well, and I know how their lunch is. Sub sandwich, you can fix it any way you want it, or they'll fix it for you. And then a lot of people are taking those daylight donuts out by the bagfuls to their office or to their home, or sneaking away somewhere under a tree in a car and eating them by themselves. But it's a great place. Granny B's, so they're closed on Mondays, of course. We'll be back tomorrow, and they'll have the rest of the week. You can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snack with Granny B's right there on Main Street in Spindale. Why don't you give them a try? If you never have, it's worth a trip to Spindale. Granny B's.
Happy birthday.
I want to wish a happy birthday to Brenda Calley up in Union Mills. Celebrating another one. Thank goodness. Brenda, happy birthday. Other birthdays include Manfred von Richten from Richtofen. He's the Red Baron. 1892 he was born. 1918 he died. 1936 Engelbert Humperdinck was born. 1946 Leslie Gore was born. Died in 2015. 1948 Larry Gatlin was born. 1972 Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, was born. Some of the events on this day include 1885 Good Housekeeping magazine is first published. 1908 the song Take Me Out to the Ball Game is copyrighted. 1918 General Motors acquires Chevrolet Motor Company. 1932 Jack Benny's first radio show premiered. This is Melanoma Day, National Life Insurance Day, National Truffle Day, I can go some truffles, and International Harry Potter Day. So now you're up to date on this date in history. here on WCAB. Keys to Confident Living coming up. Top of the hour, a little after 8 o'clock. A little after we check the weather news. We'll have the job market report, let you know where some jobs are and the money that you can make if you go to work. All that straight ahead here on the Morning Wake Up Call. WCAB. My name's Bishop. Jim Bishop.
Live from beautiful downtown Whiteside Road in the Blue Room of WCAB, your connection to the world of entertainment and information is on the air. WCAB, what a way to spend a day.
Along the Oregon Trail years ago, a group of Western settlers had been plagued with difficulties getting to their destination. Scarcity of water, lack of grass for grazing their cattle, broken down wagons, and stifling heat were but a few of the problems they faced. The difficulties had begun to take their toll. Optimism and hope were fast disappearing. People were seriously questioning whether the journey could be completed. It was decided to have a meeting to air their complaints. After the nightly chores were finished, people gathered around the fire in the middle of the camp. Before the grievance session got underway, someone in the group suggested they all bow their heads and thank God for his help thus far. It was pointed out that there had been no loss of life up to this point. They had all had enough to eat. There had not been any serious trouble when crossing Indian land, and there was a good chance they could still finish the trip. Several prayed. After the prayer meeting, an amazing thing happened. There was silence. No grievances were voiced. Previous concerns turned pale in the light of God's provisions throughout the trip. This story points out an interesting principle. Thankfulness often transforms the grumbling spirit into one of contentment. Thankfulness enables us to recognize God's abundant mercies that we might otherwise have overlooked. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Finally, civilian evacuations being carried out from the Mariupol steel plant through safe quarters in Ukraine. ABC's Ian Panel is in Ukraine's second largest city of Kharkiv.
After weeks of relentless Russian bombardment, a small group of terrified people finally emerge into the light from underground shelters in Mariupol. Roughly 100 civilians, mainly women and children, have been evacuated from the Avastal steel plant so far in a joint operation by the UN and Red Cross. Some have been underground for weeks.
Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi leading a congressional delegation to Ukraine this weekend. And New York City Archbishop Timothy Dolan also paid a surprise visit to the country.
We saw one young man who we'll never forget, who was in a bombing raid and hasn't spoken since then. So the trauma there, one cannot minimize. But in general, the people were confident. They were hopeful. They were grateful for the help they got.
A new ABC News Washington Post poll shows a 42% approval rating for President Biden's handling of the war, up 9% since the war began. Some dramatic video this weekend of tornadoes that stretched for 13 miles across Kansas over the weekend. ABC's Jim Ryan has more on storms that hit the central U.S. hard.
The same storms that brought reports of a possible tornado to Scurry County in West Texas have rolled into Dallas, bringing heavy rain, a flooding potential, and extreme lightning and thunder. Classes have been delayed at one school district west of here because of possible damage at the campus.
ABC's Jim Ryan in Dallas. Escaped murder suspect Casey White on the run from an Alabama jail, along with a corrections officer who may have helped him escape.
Now, as the search intensifies, investigators are combing through Casey's phone calls and looking into his previous interactions for clues on where the two could be headed.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert, the correction officer's mother, says she doesn't know if her daughter was coerced or left willingly. You're listening to ABC News.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text FREE to 99799 and I'll send you my free training. I promise I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text FREE to 99799 and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's FREE to 99799. Again, text FREE to 99799.
The Navy now offering sailors on the USS George Washington a place to stay on land after 7 people serving on the ship died in the last year. Among those deaths, 4 apparent suicides. The Navy says investigations are continuing. The COVID outbreak in China's largest city appears to be easing. About 14,000 cases reported over the weekend in Shanghai. Officials have started rolling back some of the lockdowns for citizens there. Amazon cutting back its paid leave for people who might have COVID. Until today, Amazon workers got time off to wait for COVID test results. Now, Amazon workers will have to use sick days if they do test positive. Farewells to Naomi Judd.
Love can build a bridge.
The country star passing away over the weekend, a day before she and her daughter Winona were inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame as the Judds. More from ABC's Rhiannon Alley after both Winona and her sister Ashley spoke at the ceremony.
I'm sorry that she couldn't hang on.
Ashley Judd took a moment to shine a light on her big sister.
I love you and I'm proud of you.
The Judds just reunited on stage in April at the CMT Music Awards, singing one of their most iconic songs.
Love can build a bridge.
Which turned out to be their final performance.
The family saying they lost Naomi Judd to the disease of mental illness. She was 76. This is ABC News.
As a parent, you know kids are amazing and expensive. But with Fabric, protecting your family with term life insurance is surprisingly affordable with a personalized policy for your family starting at less than $1 a day. It's quick, easy, all online, and you could be approved instantly. Plus, no risk, cancel anytime. Secure your family's financial future today at meetfabric.com/future. That's MEET fabric.com/future. Fabric Insurance Agency policies issued by Vantis Life, not available in New York and Montana. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
Sherry Preston, ABC News.
We will kick off the start of the work week with above normal temperatures and mostly dry conditions. For the week ahead, unsettled conditions will move in with a chance for showers and perhaps a few thunderstorms each and every day once we get past this afternoon. We will see highs today in the mid to upper 80s. By tonight, we're down into the low to mid 60s. Tomorrow, we will see temperatures in the mid 80s and the lower 90s. Summer-like conditions will persist this week. A meteorologist, Peter Sherwood, in the Weather Center.
And we have a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Sunny skies, right now 59 degrees here at Rutherford. Beautiful downtown Whiteside Road. Beautiful sunny skies. It's going to be that way pretty much all day today, so get out and enjoy. Walk the trail, go visit somebody, give them a ray of sunshine or something. It's going to be a great, great day. We have the Sheriff's Report coming up again this hour. We're going to be talking with job market report people and find out where jobs are. Anita's going to be with us hopefully in a few minutes. And we're going to check in with Wayne Rollins from Wayne's Lunchbox. Got a lot to pack in these next few hours, and we'll do that in just a few moments. All right, let's pull Anita in now on the phone and find out where some jobs are. Anita, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine. It's awful sunny this morning, isn't it?
It's a beautiful morning. I'd love to work outside in the sun for a while.
I hear you.
But the pollen is about to get me anyway, so I can't do that much.
I know it.
Tell us about some jobs.
Okay, we actually have two positions that are remote. One is administrative assistant. It's $15 an hour, high school diploma, 1 year experience. We have a call center operator that is remote also, 1878 or 79. I'm sorry, high school diploma and 1 year experience. We have a check-in coordinator out in Columbus that is $12 an hour and a high school diploma and a year's experience. A director of materials management in Columbus that is $20 an hour, a bachelor's degree and 2 years experience. We have a warehouse associate out in Mooresboro that is begins at $16 an hour, high school diploma and a year's experience. We have a lab technician out in Mooresboro that starts at $21 an hour. They want an associate's degree and 5 years experience. We have a customer service out in Spindale that is $15 an hour and a high school diploma and 1 year experience. We also have a press brake operator out in Ellenboro that is set up also. That requires a high school diploma and 1 year's experience. That is, the pay is dependent on experience. We have an oil changer out in Tryon that could be beginning anywhere 12 to 16 an hour. They don't require any education, but they would like you to have 2 months, at least 2 months experience. We have a Peak Branch teller out in Rutherford. That's $15 an hour, high school diploma and no experience. We have an occupational therapist in Var City that is $54,948 to $112,000 a year. That does require a North Carolina occupational therapy license. That is requires at least a 1 year. We have a caregiver, which is weekly pay, Var City. That is $17,360 to $29,890 a year. They want you to have a year experience, but they're not requiring any education. A welder and fabricator out in Ellenboro. That's a high school diploma and years experience, but they don't require. But they also are paying. They're paying on experience. We also have some workshops on this Thursday at 10 o'clock. This is a virtual workshop. We can send you the link. You just have to call us, and we'll give you the link. That is resumes and job applications, learning tips to create a resume and complete an application that will get you an interview. Also, on the 19th of May, we are having a job fair. So far, we have about 26 employers that's going to be at that job fair. That will be an outside job fair at the Pavilion. Well, it's the farmer's market, but it's right beside the Pavilion in Far City. That will be from 12 to 6. I think, that's pretty much all that's going on right this minute. We've had a lot of stuff in here lately and stuff, but starting to have job fairs, and some employers are, and I think some employers that's coming to the one on 19th are just looking to see if they can, what talent is in the county or even outside the county. So just for any of those job fairs, for the workshops, for any of those jobs, just give us a call here at 828-286-3042, or just come by and see us. We're on 223 Charlotte Road in Rutherford, and we'll help you with a resume also.
Are you finding that more and more people are now beginning to go get jobs, or are they still holding back? What do you think?
Some people are looking for virtual because of their kids and fear, but there are people that's also looking. There's people that's looking, but they're looking to where they can do better, or if they have maybe one job they might have been doing, they've been doing it, but they're tired and they want to go to another. They want something different, kind of thing. Yeah.
Anita, thank you very much for this report on Mondays. I appreciate it. You have a great week.
You too, hon. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Aaron Ellenberg, candidate for sheriff for Rutherford County. I was born and raised in the Gilkey community of Rutherford County. I am a graduate of RS Central High School and currently serving on the RS Central High School Improvement Committee. For over 22 years, I have served the citizens of Rutherford County in various sworn law enforcement roles, including being a North Carolina law enforcement instructor since 2008. I have built my career on a strong foundation of honor, integrity, service, faith, and family. I pledge to continue that. As your next sheriff of Rutherford County, we can make a difference together, paid for by committee to elect Ellenberg sheriff.
You know, Wayne Rollins, I could just see people now waiting to get over there on this sunny day and sit under that shelter you got there and have a good picnic lunch with your good food cooking. How you doing today?
Doing great, Jim. How you doing this morning? It is a good day. It looks like the sun's going to give us a pretty day today. So, yeah, it's a good day to come hang out underneath the shed over there. Got the ceiling fans on. Get a little air stirring if it ain't already stirring. Of course, it seems like the last few weeks it's sort of like Seattle weather around here. We get rain or we got 20-mile-an-hour winds. So
I know it.
But either way, we're going to be cooking some good food today, that's for sure.
What do you got on your menu today?
Mondays, we've been running chicken fried steak. And for what that people – a lot of times people get that confused with cube steak, and it's different. The chicken fried steak is actually a hamburger patty that you bread, and then we deep fry it, and then you cover it with that good old white gravy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go wrong there. Throw you in some creamed potatoes, green beans, or you got fried okra. Potato salad goes good with it, but it's hard to beat that. And also you can take that, if you don't want to make a meat and two out of it, you can make it into a sandwich called a chuck wagon. We have a lot of people get it, put it on a bun with mayonnaise, lettuce, and tomato. You can add cheese. You can add bacon. So you can change that thing up, make it a sandwich if you don't want a plate.
Wow. Now, you make your own homemade sweet tea out there, don't you?
Yeah, man, we go through a lot of sweet tea. Learned how to make sweet tea back in the dockside era. I know that'll bring up a lot of memories for a lot of people. But back in the day when I worked with Don Calabacas and them over at Dockside, which now is Big Dave's, we actually, a lot of people in a lot of places now make their sweet tea through a machine, which there's nothing wrong with that. But we still do it the old-fashioned way. I put sugar in a pot, put the water in there, put the tea bags in there, bring it to a boil, and then we let it set for, several hours. And sometimes we even make it a day ahead.
That's the best
because tea and stuff like that, spaghetti sauce, vegetable soup, turnip greens, green beans, pintos, anything like that is better the next day.
Sure.
A lot of people think, well, that sounds like leftovers. Well, it's not. You just got to let things sit every once in a while to get the full flavor out of it. So, yeah, we brew our tea. We make at least 1 or 2 pots of tea every day. So that's one thing. And if you could smell it right now, we got some homemade brownies cooking.
Oh, boy.
I wish they had some way we could, with all the technology, you would think they would have it to where you could smell some stuff now. But everybody that's out there, if you could smell it in here right now, it smells like a bakery in here. So we got a big pan of homemade brownies going to be ready to go. If you want just a brownie, you can get that. Or my favorite, tell them to heat it up and put a scoop of ice cream on it, and then we got some.
Now you're talking. Yeah, man.
Now we got some good dessert. You got a good meal. So come on out and check us out today if you hadn't had the opportunity to come by.
Hey, listen, Friday the 13th is coming up pretty soon.
Coming up soon. We only got 2 weeks now. We're getting very excited about that. I can go ahead and tell everybody that we've got our 2 big prizes. We're going to give away a prize for lunch, and then we're going to give away a prize for supper. Now, it's just our big prize. We're going to actually be giving away something every 15 minutes. It could be a gift card. We've actually bought up some of the Boy Scout cards. You could get a gift card from us, or you could win a hamburger. You could win a milkshake. So we're going to give away something every 15 minutes. But the 2 main prizes, you'll get a ticket, and we're going to give away a Blackstone grill for lunch and a Blackstone grill for supper.
Wow.
We picked that out, and I wanted to go pretty big with that because, again, this is not really about me. It's about our customers and the community that have helped me throughout the last 3 years, welcoming me back into the county again for, opening up the restaurant. And I just want to, give back and get this. So we got 2 of these Blackstone grills. It's the 2-burner. It's the one that you can fold up and take with you anywhere. So it's good to take if you want to take it on a picnic, if you want to take it to the beach, if you want to put it on a boat and take it to the lake. It has a little portable bottle propane that you can hook up to it. Really nice grill. And we got 2 of them to give away. So we're just going to have a big day. It's Friday the 13th. We're going to be open that day from 11 to 8. So we'll be open all day long. Of course, again, you guys are going to be there broadcasting live in the morning and in the evening. So we're going to be giving away things. We got our new tie-dye T-shirts that we're going to launch on that day too. So you can pick up one of them. Just a lot of good things going on right now. A lot of catering going on too. So if you have something coming up with that, please give us a call. We've got menus up at the restaurant now that you can pick up and take a look at of all the things that we offer for catering. So we just got a lot of stuff going on, and I appreciate everybody that comes by and that allows me to, do what I love to do. So again, this celebration and stuff like that is for my customers because they're the ones that's keeping us going. So I really appreciate that.
Well, Wayne Rollins, when you do something, you do it right. We appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Anytime. I'm glad to speak with y'all. And again, y'all come on out and have lunch with us Monday through Friday from 11 to 2. We got something new pretty much every day. And try something different. A lot of people come in, they get the same thing, but every once in a while they'll slip up and be like, well, let me try this. And the next thing you know, they got a new best thing. So, come by and try it out. We'll do our best to make you happy.
Wayne Rollins, have a great day.
You too, Jim. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Let me introduce you to Brock Family Care, a direct primary care practice that takes care of the patients and not the insurance company. Providing flat rate pricing and not accepting any forms of health insurance allows for more personalized and affordable health care. Ann Brock has over 42 years of health care experience and 22 years as a nurse practitioner. She and her staff are dedicated to providing health care that is patient-centered and not insurance company dictated. They give the patient the time and the attention they need. What are your medical needs? Bring them to Brock Family Care and see the difference. Ann also offers telehealth appointments. The professional staff are dedicated and will take the time to find out how they can help you. To learn more about this wonderful medical service, go to the website at www.brockfamilycare.com. That's Brock Family Care, 289 Shallow Road, Forest City.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Smith Drugs of Forest City is offering the flu vaccines. You can walk in Monday through Friday or by appointment only on Saturdays. The Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers, if you need assistance registering your recall devices, you can call the Home Medical Department at 245-4591. And Smith Drugs has a large selection of in-stock mastectomy bras, now half price. So come by our Home Equipment Department on West Main Street in Forest City. Smith Drugs, 245-4591. Enjoy a taste of the Orient from the delicious buffet at the Dragon Palace Chinese Restaurant. You can enjoy all your favorite dishes plus a whole lot more. Friendly service and professional staff ready to make your dining experience a truly great one. Open Tuesday through Sunday, 11 until 9, closed on Mondays. They do have party rooms available if you have an upcoming event. Call the Dragon Palace at 287-5707. The Dragon Palace, 115 Ryan Drive in Forest City.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. We know that due to COVID, many people don't want to come in the office. If you need to discuss your insurance needs or just make a payment, you can come through the drive-thru, telephone us, or drop in. We want to see you, but it doesn't have to be across from a desk. Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City.
I'm District Attorney Ted Bell, and I'm asking for your vote for re-election in the Republican primary. Drugs in our communities is a big problem, and we work every day on many levels to fight that. We work closely with local law enforcement agencies and the State Alcohol and Law Enforcement Agency to shut down drug houses. We work with many organizations to get treatment for the drug users we deal with in court, and we work hard to come down like a hammer on those who are dealing drugs in our community. We have sent drug dealers to prison for the longest sentences for dealers in the history of our district. State v. Parker, 15 years in prison. State v. Hensley, 23 years in prison. State v. Branch, 23 years in prison. And in State v. Rahm, we sent Mr. Rahm to prison for 47 years. Please go to tedbellforda.com for more information. And please vote for me, Ted Bell, for re-election as District Attorney in the Republican primary on May 17th. Thank you. Paid for by the Committee to Elect Ted Bell.
When the produce comes from Tony's Produce, you know it is fresh. It's not shipped in here from wherever. It's fresh produce. So stop by Tony's Produce today for delicious vegetables and fruits, all local. Strawberries, $15 a gallon. Cantaloupes, watermelons, spring onions, half-runners, okra, squash, zucchini, corn, milk and eggs, and jams and jellies, apples, and so much more. Just in, a shipment of large ferns and hanging baskets. Tony's fully stocked and ready to serve you. Mother's Day's coming up, so be sure to get Mom a hanging basket of large fern. They got fast and friendly hometown service there at Tony's. Find them on Facebook. That's Tony's Produce, 773 North Washington Street in Rutherfordton. That phone number is 287-9495. Shop local, shop Tony's Produce, and support our local businesses. 22 minutes past 8 o'clock. Sheriff's Report with Sergeant Brendel coming up next.
Past 48 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has answered 250 calls, processed 28 arrests, and currently have 181 in the county jail. Under our incident reports, we have one Green Hill store reported a case of misdemeanor larceny. Looks like a Alexandria Kennedy, 30-year-old white female of Rutherford, was charged and arrested for the misdemeanor larceny. She stole a $34 pair of shoes from the store. Under our arrest reports, we have a Julius Hamilton, 43-year-old black male of Ellenboro, was charged with one count of failure to appear on a misdemeanor, given a $500 unsecured bond. We have a Jason Eugene Lauder, 39-year-old white male of Forest City, was charged with 3 counts of child support, given a $3,500 bond. We have Travis Wishon, 20-year-old white male of Rutherford, charged with 2 counts of failure to appear on a felony, given a $5,000 secured bond. We have a Joshua Kane Tony, 38-year-old white male of Henrietta, was charged with 1 count of possession of methamphetamine, 1 count of trafficking heroin, and 1 count of possession of a controlled substance inside of a jail, given a $60,000 secure bond. We have a Kevin Smith, 43-year-old white male of Forest City, was charged with 1 count of failure to appear on a misdemeanor and given a $1,000 secure bond. And that's all we have this morning, sir.
I'm District Attorney Ted Bell, and I'm asking for your vote for re-election in the Republican primary. The tough sentences we've achieved is only one part of fighting crime. The recidivism rate for those convicted in state court in North Carolina is over 50%. That means if the district attorney refuses to do anything other than try cases, over half of those people convicted are going to keep committing crimes. So the district attorney must do more than just be in the courtroom. A district attorney who only wants to be in court is like a preacher refusing to go outside the four walls of his church to help his community. That is why, in addition to prosecuting cases, I work just as hard doing everything I can to cut that recidivism rate, to stop that revolving door at the courthouse. To do that, I am actively involved in many programs such as the Rutherford County Health Coalition, the Rutherford Substance Abuse Subcommittee, the Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, and the Western Regional DWI Task Force. In addition, I and several other dedicated people help develop and implement the Jail Opioid Treatment Program and help develop and implement the McDowell Reentry Council, which is one of only about 5 such councils in the entire state recognized by the Attorney General's office, and which has taken that 50 to 60% recidivism rate and reduced it to 10 to 20%. I'm extremely honored and humbled to have been unanimously endorsed by the chief of every Rutherford and McDowell County law enforcement agency. Please vote for me, Ted Bell, for re-election as district attorney in the Republican primary on May 17th. Thank you. Paid for by the committee to elect Ted Bell.
101-89 victory over the Celtics. The Greek Freak scoring 24 points along with his 13 boards and 12 helpers. Game 2 is tomorrow night in Boston. On the ice, the NHL playoffs getting started tonight, and the Carolina Hurricanes Cup quest begins with a first-round matchup with Boston, the Bruins. It'll be the 7th all-time postseason meeting between the two franchises and the 3rd in the last 4 years. Canes defenseman Jacob Slavin was asked if they've learned anything about the Bruins over the years that will help in this series.
You always learn lessons every time you get knocked out. I mean, I think the first year we learned that we had to be more disciplined. And so going into these, we got to make sure we're staying out of the box and not giving their power play any opportunities. But so just to be able to have Boston as a first-round matchup here is awesome. I know we're excited for it. The locker room is excited for it. It's going to be a great series.
Puck drops at 7 tonight in Raleigh. Other first-round matchups getting underway this evening. Two-time defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay will go against the Leafs in Toronto. The Wild hosting the Blues in Minnesota. And the Kings going against the Oilers in a 10 o'clock puck drop from Edmonton. This is NCN Sports.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
When Bluebell takes milk chocolate ice cream and loads it with chocolate-coated peanut butter cups and peanut butter cookie dough pieces, you get chocolate peanut butter overload. Better by a country smile.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
NASCAR's Cup Series race at Dover resumes at noon today after Sunday's race was red flagged by rain just 78 laps in. Hendrick Motorsports teammates Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott will start 1 and 2. Ryan Blaney is 3rd. Martin Truex Jr. and William Byron are 4th and 5th. John Rahm is a winner again. Yesterday's victory, though, wasn't easy as he won at the Mexico Open with a 69 in the final round at the Vedanta Vallarta. Rahm never fell behind, but he missed an easy birdie conversion on the par 5 12th and suddenly found himself in a 4-way tie for the lead before scraping it out. And Stephen Alker is now the man to beat on the PGA Tour Champions a week after he threw away a chance to win. He shot a 66 on Sunday for a short 4-shot victory in the Insperity Invitational from the Woodlands outside Houston. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
We will kick off the start of the work week with above normal temperatures and mostly dry conditions. For the week ahead, unsettled conditions will move in with a chance for showers and perhaps a few thunderstorms each and every day once we get past this afternoon. We will see highs today in the mid to upper 80s. By tonight, we're down into the low to mid 60s. Tomorrow, we will see temperatures in the mid 80s and the lower 90s. Summer-like conditions will persist this week. A meteorologist, Peter Sherwood, in the Weather Center.
Thank you, Peter Sherwood. It is sunny here in the foothills of western North Carolina. Sunny, and our temperature right now is 59 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood and another great getting up morning. It's 8:30. This is 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program today is Connie Davies.
Hello, good morning, Rutherford County. This is Connie Davies. It's a pleasure to be with you again this morning. I always enjoy coming to share the Word of God with family, friends, and those that I have never met here in Rutherford County and the surrounding area. What a pleasure it is to share the Word of God and to bring words of encouragement, and especially in the times that we're living in right now. You know, I don't believe there's anybody that can refute the fact that we're living in some very difficult times. We see a lot going on in the world around us. All you have to do is look at the news and see that there are a lot of challenges that we face right now, things that are very uncertain. Day by day, as we wake up and see what's going on, we're seeing a lot of course, you know this, the international instability with what recently happened in the Ukraine and what happened in Afghanistan, and all around the world. A lot of rumors of wars and things taking place. Natural disasters that we're seeing. We're seeing a breakdown of family and society, attacks on our children, the divisive attitudes that we see among our citizens, injustice and lawlessness taking over, like we see even in the book of Genesis, where it talks about there'll be multiplied lawlessness in the earth. Immorality is at record high. We've never seen the attacks on morality like we're seeing right now. Our economy, supply chain, and really probably one of the worst is the spiritual apathy that we see in the church. A lot going on in the world around us, and that's not including the things that may be going on in our personal lives. I know there's a lot of challenges that I personally am facing right now with family members and situations that we're having to face and inquire the voice of God concerning, to have answers to our problems and our questions. And that's what I really want to talk to you about today, because all of us are facing situations that are not exactly what we would expect or what we would want to see happen. But, you know, we can look at these situations that we're facing in our personal lives or in the world around us and come to realize, you know, we've got a God that has answers to our problems, and a God that can bring us peace in the midst of some of these storms that we're facing, be it our personal or the national level, in our communities, our churches, our homes. Everywhere we turn, there seems to be turmoil. There seems to be unpleasant circumstances. But, you know, as God's people, we have answers when we come to Jesus. And I'm going to begin a little study today on some scriptures talking about just that and what we are to do in times like this, when it looks like the world is turning upside down. That's okay, because Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's always there. He's always stable. He is our stronghold and our security. So I'm going to begin today with a scripture that might surprise you a little bit, but it's going to begin in Isaiah chapter 6. Isaiah chapter 6. And we're going to begin in verse 1. Now this, to me, was very interesting as I began to study this portion of scripture. It's always interested me, but this time I went back and I actually delved in a little bit further to get the context of what was going on at the time that Isaiah wrote this, Isaiah 6. It says in verse 1, "In the year that King Uzziah died, in a vision I saw the Lord sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and the skirts of his train filled the most holy part of the temple." Now, the context of what Isaiah is saying is he's setting it in historical context of in the year that King Uzziah died. If you go back and you even look at the history, Uzziah was one of the best kings that the kingdom of Judah had. He was a very strong leader. He brought peace and prosperity to his people. He built up fortifications of defense for his people. He planted crops that brought plenty of supply to its people. And prosperity was abounding when he was the king. It was good times for the Jewish people during his reign. But when he died, this is when Isaiah actually began his ministry. In the midst of things seemingly falling apart, Isaiah saw God high and lifted up. And as I was reading this, I'm thinking, as we're looking at what's going on around us, we're not ignoring what's going on. We recognize the challenges that we're facing right now in the world. But he said, in the year that Uzziah died, this good king that had died, of course, we know a little bit of the background. He eventually turned his back on God and lost his life. But during his reign, the 52 years that he was reigning, things were really good, really, really good for the people in Judah. And when he died, Isaiah says, I saw God high and lifted up. Today, with all the things that we face or the things that are going on around us, we can look at those circumstances and be devastated, or we can choose to turn our eyes to Jesus, turn our eyes on God, and see him high and lifted up. And as bad as things look in the world around us today, God is still in control. We may not understand what we're seeing or why things are happening the way they're happening. But I tend to think that we're in the end times, and we're seeing the fulfillment of the Word of God as it says in Matthew 24. There's going to be the natural disasters that are going to come. There's going to be wars and rumors of war. There's going to be famines. There's going to be things like even the COVID virus that happened. There are going to be things that are going to be going on. What do we do in the midst of that? The Bible says that when the foundations are being destroyed, what do the righteous do? We run to the God of our salvation. We see God high and lifted up. We recognize that he's still in control, that he's still the king of the universe, and that he is allowing this to happen. Now, there's a lot that can come good out of this. What happened here in Isaiah's time, when he saw God high and lifted up and his train filling the temple, that represented the authority of God, the security of God, the strength of God is what he saw. That's what we need to see. We need to see God's authority, God's power and might, and his place in our life as being a stronghold and a refuge. And it goes on in saying how he responded. And I'm going to skip a few verses, but in verse 5, when Isaiah saw God high and lifted up, he saw his true condition. We're seeing our true condition. We're seeing that we're absolutely helpless apart from what help we get from God. It says, he said in verse 5, I said, woe is me, for I am undone and ruined. And I know a lot of people are feeling that right now. They're feeling undone. They're feeling ruined. They're feeling like, where do I go? What do I do under these circumstances? And he said, he recognized, I'm a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. When we see God for who he is, and I believe God is making himself very real to us right now, very real to us, to those whose eyes are open to see him, to recognize him, we see our true condition and we see how much we need God. And then it said, then flew one of the seraphim, the heavenly beings, to me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with tongs from off the altar. And with it he touched my mouth and said, behold, this has touched your lips. Your iniquity and guilt are taken away, and your sin is completely atoned for and forgiven. And that is what God is doing in our hearts. He's allowing us and giving us this opportunity to examine our lives. Where is our trust? What are we putting our trust in? What is of value and real importance in our lives right now? God is causing us right now, in the midst of the circumstances that we're in, causing us to examine ourselves and to see, am I trusting God? Are the things that are going on around me, is it shaking me? Is it affecting my life in a negative way, in any way at all? Am I still trusting God, even in the midst of what seems to be chaos around me? And he said, and then Isaiah says, I also heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. Isaiah's ministry began in the midst of all the chaos that was going on at that time. at the decline of Judah, as things begin to go bad after the death of Uzziah, this is when Isaiah began his ministry as a prophet of God. He began to, when he saw God, he could see the conditions of God wanted to raise him up to be a spokesperson, not only to give the word of the Lord, but to bring encouragement to God's people, that there was a future and a hope for those that put their trust in God. What a wonderful opportunity we have right now. I mean, you can look at what's going on that's bad, but as it gets darker and darker in the world around us, as things seem to be getting worse, there are going to be people that are going to be desperate, and they're going to be looking for answers. They're going to be looking for somebody that has truth. They're going to be looking for someone that has hope. They're going to be looking for something to encourage them and to lift them up out of their circumstances. And we all need that. We need each other in the body of Christ. But as it gets darker and darker in the world around us, for those that serve God, their light will get brighter and brighter. God is wanting to use his people. But the only way he can use us is if we see our condition and we see our total dependence upon God during this time. God allowed us to be alive in this time in history. God wants to equip us to be prepared for the days ahead. Just recently, I was reading again in the book of Proverbs 31, and it talks about the virtuous woman. And I was reading because I want my heart to be prepared for whatever we face, whatever I face as an individual. And it says that the virtuous woman is not afraid of the future because she knows that she's in readiness for it. What makes you in readiness for what's coming? Is because you know everything, because you yourself are equipped, or because your trust and reliance is on Jesus. Your trust is a reliance on God, knowing that he is going to get you through it. So as I was studying this about our trust in God, and in the midst of the storms, I started even looking at some of the scriptures about the storms of life. And, what is it that moves us? What are the things that can come about in our lives that shake us and cause us to be fearful? And I went to Matthew 14. In Matthew 14, it's a very familiar scripture. Let me see if I can get there very quickly. Matthew 14:22. And this was after Jesus had done a miracle, had performed a miracle by feeding the 5,000. And then after that, he directed his disciples to get into a boat and go before him to the other side while he sent away the crowds. And after he had dismissed the multitudes, he went up into the hills by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was still there alone. But by that time, the boat was out in the sea, many furlongs, about 1/8 of a mile distant from the land, beaten and tossed by the waves, for the wind was against them. Jesus knows everything. Jesus knew that storm was up ahead of him. Jesus knew that the disciples were going to be heading that boat into a storm. And it said in the fourth watch between 3 and 6 a.m. of the night, Jesus came to them walking at the sea. He wasn't with them when the storm started, right physically with him, but he knew they were going into that storm. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. And they said, "It's a ghost," and they screamed out with fright. But instantly he spoke to them saying, "Take courage, I am. Stop being afraid." God is telling us, Jesus is telling us, I am. What does that mean? It means that he's the God of the present. He's the God of the now. He is the God of today. He says, I am. Take courage. Stop being afraid. God is wanting to tell us today, stop being afraid. Don't pay attention to the storm. Look to me. And it says, Peter answered him, "Lord, if it's you, command me to come to you on the water." And we know the story. He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water, and he came toward Jesus. But when he perceived and felt the strong wind, he was frightened. This is what happens to us. We can set our eyes on Jesus. We can start following God and coming to Jesus, putting our trust in him with whatever it is that he wants us. And then when we start looking around us and we look at the circumstances around us, we see the storms raging around us. We pay attention to that and we get distracted and get our eyes off of Jesus. Then we start sinking. And that's what happened to him. When Jesus said, "Come," he got out of the boat, walked on the water. But when he perceived and felt the strong wind, he was frightened and he began to sink. He cried out, "Lord, save me from death." And instantly Jesus reached out his hand and caught and held him, saying to him, "Oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt?" God is asking us, why are we doubting him? Those that know him, those that are putting their trust in him, we're not going to doubt the power of God in our lives. When the storms come, when they rage, be it in our communities, the world around us, in our own personal lives. And it's very interesting because at the church this past week, there were several people that had testimonies about things that they're going through right now. And it seemed like they were being storm tossed and difficulty. We were there to encourage one another to realize, this is what's going on in the realm of the spirit. The devil is trying to shake us. He's trying to discourage us. He's trying to get us to take our eyes off of Jesus and look at the circumstances around us. But when we keep our eyes on God, then we can hear what God is telling us. Just like Peter, he heard Jesus say, "Come." And when he obeyed, he stepped out. God is wanting us to step out, not in fear, but in faith. God is wanting us to trust him, to obey what he's telling us to do, and to trust him with the consequences of our obedience. And then if you look in Mark 4, another situation of another storm that the disciples were experiencing, 4:35, Jesus is again with them. Remember, much of his ministry was there around Capernaum, the Sea of Galilee. So there were a lot of instances where they were on that water. And it said, he said to his disciples in verse 35, "Let us go over to the other side of the lake." Leaving the throng, they took him with them, just as he was in the boat in which he was sitting, and the other boats were with him. A furious storm of wind of hurricane proportions. Now, this is not just a small storm. This is not just a thunder shower. This is a storm, a strong storm of hurricane proportions arose. And the waves kept beating into the boat so that it's already becoming filled. But he himself was in the stern of the boat, asleep on the leather cushion. They awoke him and said to him, "Master, do you not care that we're perishing?" Well, Jesus knew the storm was going on, but he was in peace. He was in peace. He knew God was not going to send him in a boat for them to perish. If God sends us someplace to go to do something, he's not sending us there to be destroyed. If God is telling us to do something, it's not for us to perish. And it says, he arose and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Hush now, be still, muzzled." And the wind ceased, sank to rest as if exhausted by its beating, and there was an immediate great calm, a perfect peacefulness. That is what God is wanting to bring in our lives. We need to let Jesus come in the midst of our storms. See him being there and knowing that he can bring us the peace that we need to walk through that storm, knowing that he is with us and he will never forsake us. And I saw something, a commentary, and I thought this was very good and something that was worth repeating to you. It said, "Peace is not the absence of difficulty. Peace is not the absence of difficulty. Peace is the presence of God in the midst of difficulty." Is that not true? I've seen that so many times in my life. Difficult things that I face, I still can walk through it in the peace of God. I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to feel that agitation and the frustration. I can walk in peace. As long as we keep our eyes on Jesus, we can have peace in the midst of a storm. And what a testimony the people of God can be to those who may not have that relationship with God, when everything around us is just chaos. For us to walk in peace and to be walking in the grace of God and the peace of God during these tumultuous times, what a testimony that could be. We need to be those people. I'm going to read a few more scriptures about the peace of God and about God being the shelter in the storm. Go to Psalm 46. Psalm 46. The whole chapter is very good, but I'm just going to read for the sake of time. I'll read just a few verses. It said, "God is our refuge and strength, mighty and impenetrable to temptation, a very present and well-proved help in trouble." Again, he is the I am. He is the present. He's in the present with us right now today. "Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth should change, Though the mountains be shaken into the midst of the seas, though its waters roar and foam, though the mountains tremble at its swelling and tumult, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge, our fortress, our high tower. Selah. Pause and calmly think of that. We need to think about that today, that he is our refuge, our high tower. Come, behold the works of the Lord, who has wrought desolations and wonders in the earth. He makes wars to cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow into pieces and snaps the spear in two. He burns the chariots in the fire. Then it says in verse 10, a key verse, let be and be still, and know, recognize, and understand that I am God. Today, no matter what it is that you might be facing, just take a moment, be still for a moment, and be aware of God. Be aware that God is there with you. God is there to comfort you. God is there to be your refuge, your strong tower. He says, I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge, our high tower and stronghold. Again, Selah, pause and calmly think of that. Think about it. Think about the greatness of God. Think about how great God wants to be in your life today, no matter what it is that you're facing. Psalm 57, verses 1 and 2. Be merciful and gracious to me, O God. Be merciful and gracious to me, for my soul takes refuge and finds shelter and confidence in you. Yes, in the shadow of your wings will I take refuge and be confident until calamities and destructive storms are past. I will cry to God Most High, who performs on my behalf and rewards me, who brings to pass his purposes for me and surely completes them. God has a plan for our lives, even in the midst of what we're facing today. And we put our trust in him. He can bring to pass his will. No matter what obstacles it looks like we face, God can bring to pass his will. We just have to keep our eyes on Jesus. Isaiah 25. Remember, we started with Isaiah 25, the book of Isaiah, and Isaiah 25, 1 through 4. O Lord, you are my God. I will exalt you. I will praise your name, for you have done wonderful things, even purposes planned of old and fulfilled in faithfulness and truth. You have made a city a heap, a fortified city a ruin, a palace of aliens without a city is no more a city. It will never be rebuilt. Therefore, many a strong people will glorify you. Many a city of terrible and ruthless nations will reverently fear you. For you have been a stronghold for the poor, a stronghold for the needy in his distress. Now, this is in the midst of destruction going on around God's people. God can still be a stronghold for the needy in his distress, a shelter from the storm, a shade from the heat, for the blast of the ruthless ones is like a rainstorm against a wall. In the midst of destruction, in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of calamity, God himself can be our refuge and our fortress. We want to put our trust in him. John 14, 27, very familiar scripture, a passage of scripture in the New Testament. So in the Old Testament and the New Testament, we're reminded over and over again to keep our trust in God and we will have peace. It says in John 14, 27, peace I leave with you. My own peace I now give and bequeath to you. Now this is God's peace, the peace of Jesus that we can have. Not as the world gives do I give to you. No, the world has no peace. The world has no peace to give us. We can't turn to the world. We can't look to the resources of the world. We have to look to God. Do not let your hearts be troubled. This is a command. Do not let your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. Stop allowing yourselves to be agitated and disturbed, and do not permit yourselves to be fearful and intimidated, cowardly and unsettled. We need to take hold of our will and set our mind on Jesus and not allow ourselves to become irritated, stressed out, disturbed, but we can find our peace in Jesus. Philippians 4. Very similar scripture. Now remember, in Philippians, this book was written by the Apostle Paul. He knew what distress was like. He spent much of his ministry being persecuted and in living in dire straits. But he said in Philippians 4:6-7, do not fret or have any anxiety about anything. When he says anything, that means anything. Do not have any stress or anxiety about anything. But how do we deal with the storms that come our way, the pressures that come? But in every circumstance and in everything, by prayer and petition, definite request, with thanksgiving, continue to make your wants known to God. We go to God. We pray to God. We ask God to meet those needs that we have, to calm those storms in our life. And God's peace shall be yours. God's peace will be yours. That tranquil state of a soul assured of its salvation through Christ. And so fearing nothing from God and being content with its earthly lot of whatever sort that is, that peace which transcends all understanding shall garrison and mount guard over your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. It's a peace that passes all understanding. That is what God has promised to his people, that no matter what it is that we face, we can have peace. 2 Corinthians, again, a book written by Paul to the church. 2 Corinthians 1:8-11. For we do not want you to be uninformed, brethren, about the affliction and oppressing distress which befell us in the province of Asia, how we were so utterly and unbearably weighed down and crushed that we despaired even of life itself. Is that how you feel sometimes, that you feel crushed and beat down, weighed down with problems? But look at what Paul said. Look at his perspective. He said, but for it is he who rescued and saved us from such a perilous death, and he did face death, literal death, but he will still rescue and save us. In and on him we have set our hope, our joyful and confident expectation, that he will again deliver us from danger and destruction and draw us to himself. And the reason he did that is to keep us, in verse 9, that to keep us from trusting in and depending on ourselves instead of on God who raises the dead. God is wanting us to learn to trust in him, not in ourselves, not in our ability, not in the resources of the world, not in anything but him alone. He's the only one that can save us, and we cannot trust in our own ability, in any man to save us. Only God. God is the one that we have to turn to. And then in Hebrews, I'll end with this. In Hebrews chapter 12, and I love this scripture. Hebrews 12, verse 1. Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses who have borne testimony to the truth. Now, you can go back and read the witnesses that are mentioned in Hebrews 11, because that's the faith chapter. That's the chapter that talks about all the heroes and heroines of faith that served God and faced difficult times, but met those challenges by keeping their eyes on Jesus, by keeping their eyes on God. It says, consider those, that the cloud of witnesses that have gone before us, that have really suffered. It said, let us, and who have already borne testimony to the truth. What truth? The truth that God is there. He will never leave us or forsake us. Let us strip off and throw aside every encumbrance, unnecessary weight, the sin which so readily, deftly clings to and entangles us, and let us run with patient endurance and steady and active persistence the appointed course of the race that is set before us, looking away from all that will distract to Jesus, who is the leader and the source of our faith, giving the first incentive for our belief, and is also its finisher, bringing it to maturity and perfection. He, for the joy of obtaining the prize that was set before him, endured the cross, despising and ignoring the shame, and is now seated at the right hand of the throne of God. Just think of him who endured from sinners such grievous opposition and bitter hostility, so that you do not grow weary or exhausted, losing heart, relaxing, and fainting in your mind. We are not going to faint in our mind when we keep our eyes on Jesus.